Dun, 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 dun. Joe Brusca here for your online business nightly news. On the topics for today, is coronavirus affecting the high-ticket dropshipping stores around the world? Let's go to Mike out in the field.
How's it going, Joe? I'm here in my room, and you can see behind me, nothing's going on. Yeah, so I guess let's.
I don't want to do
I
that.
guess we could talk about this.
Let's
I know. I think this topic is actually it is important and it is relevant, and things are there. There are things to be said. So, do you want to make any comments, or should I just actually
Yeah,
jump into what's happening?
yeah. First of all, I just thought it was a funny intro. I didn't want to make a joke of something serious. So sorry if anyone is offended out there or anything like that. But it's an important question because when you look at the drop shipping scene online on places like YouTube, places like Instagram, places like TikTok, a lot of the bad business practices that people are following is drop shipping directly from China, and obviously on
Oh
this,
yeah, they're screwed.
yeah, on this
They're
channel
screwed.
we don't promote that at all. We don't recommend you do that, but we wanted to talk about whether our businesses were impacted as a result of coronavirus because we are dealing with suppliers in the US, and some of those suppliers, of course, do get some of their products from China. So that's why I want to talk about this. But as far as I could tell, with the sales coming in, we haven't been impacted too much, and I can only assume it's because, as far as I know, a lot of the main stuff we sell doesn't actually come from China. I know some of it comes from places in Europe, other Asian countries, not China. Is that correct, Mike?
I would say it's correct, but actually, I don't think, like I see the products that we have that do come from China, they are still selling. And I don't think it's a matter of like people are going to stop buying products because of this situation. What's happening is a lot of these Chinese factories are actually closed.
Right.
So things aren't being made. And that doesn't mean that we can't sell them. But what's going to happen is in the future, and it's already happening now, is there's going to be a lot longer lead times for things to be replenished. And so we just sold one of our sites and we made a video about that. And we actually had some things that we were waiting to come in, and they were supposed to come in, in January or February. And when I was on my final call with this one of these suppliers, I was just talking about the things we had left over, and he was like, yeah, we're going to be pushed out even farther now because the people that are making these products for us are completely closed. So yeah, what's going to wind up happening is that the supply chains are going to get messed up slightly. And we also see this right now. We have a product that is not made in China, but we're waiting to get more in. And so the ports right now are very congested because I don't know what's happening exactly, but they're shutting like certain ports down, or things are being reconfigured because of the situation. And so it's causing more congestion. And yeah, things have been at the port like for weeks waiting to be cleared. And so, you have more increased, I guess, security measures that are happening. And so with all that being said, I don't think it should impact your sales that much. It comes down to customer management, and that's going to be really the make or break for the next few months at least.
Yeah, that's what I was actually going to ask you. When you mentioned that, the lead times are getting longer and things like that. Um, you know, as far as how people who watch us, who own high ticket dropshipping stores, should respond, I think you hit the nail on the head there. That managing the customers in this case is going to be key priority because obviously, God willing, those products will be back in the supply chain, and then you could sell it to them all over again. I think all of customer orders, you have to be clear with communicating with them. Hey, there's going to be additional wait times, and I think most people would be understanding, given the press that the coronavirus has gotten.
Yeah, you were kind of cutting out. So I don't know if that'll show up.
No, no,
Probably no. You're recording it, but
yeah,
um, yeah. So like in our instant e-commerce asset course, we talk about how customer management, even for out of stock items, is actually something that goes on all the time, even in big box stores. But it's all dependent on really how you want to go about it. And what we do is we think that if a product is out of stock and it's out of stock anywhere, then there's no reason, if you're transparent, that you can't still get that sale and maintain that sale. And we've been able to, this is not an ideal situation, but if something is out for multiple months, you can still keep customers essentially like on the wait list for it, or they already paid for it. And, as long as you're updating them, as long as you're being honest, and you're providing them with an advantage, because if they just never order it, first of all, this is a product that they want. So you're able to essentially get the order in with the supplier ahead of time. You put them at the front of the line, and then as soon as the products come in, they are the first to get it. And people take value in that. And so it's just going to be more of that situation. And there may be just some extra follow-up that's necessary just to let people know, and people should be understanding. But I'm not concerned, even if supply chains get messed up for a few extra months. The way that we have things set up, it really takes care of our ability to hold sales and sort of maintain sales and continue to do sales even in bad supply chain situations.
Yeah, and when I was more involved in the customer service end of things, I kind of noticed that a lot of people, like, depending on what the niche is, what the product line is, they don't actually mind waiting. As a matter of fact, some people even wanted to wait. Like, some people would oftentimes order stuff early and be like, no, I don't want this for like another month or something. Is that still going on?
Yeah, absolutely. And that's a selling thing. That's like a selling point that we were doing a lot back in the day on our first store. Well, the first store that we sold. And you know what I'm talking about. Like, we would tell people,
Yeah.
like, you don't have, we'll hold this for you.
Yeah.
And what you're doing is you're giving them a reason to buy now, because when someone wants to go to buy, they have to think, okay, am I ready for this? When is it going to come? Like, what are the delivery logistics? And you can sort of just clear that objection right away by saying, okay, you may not need it now, but you can order it now. That way you're reserving your stock so it doesn't go out of stock. Or, like I said, if it is out of stock, they get in the front of the line. And then we will ship it out whenever you want. And suppliers are usually very much willing to entertain this. They're very much willing to hold things at the warehouse. And you provide them with a service, because not everyone realizes that people will just hold things for them.
Yeah, and talk about positive cash flow there. If you're getting the order from the customer, it's hitting your bank account in a few days. The customer's not getting it for a little bit. Throw it into your high interest savings account. Maybe you'll get close to 2% on it. It's kind of just chilling there for a month. And actually, people laugh because, and I don't want to go too much off on this tangent here, but people laugh at the interest rates in savings accounts. But right now, I think we have a special promotion going on where we get close to 2%. And I actually just opened a personal savings account where I get really close to 2%. It's like 1.9 with a bank called Varo, V-A-R-O. But the point I'm trying to make here is that when they calculate interest rates in your savings account, it's actually calculated, it's distributed monthly, but it's calculated daily. So if you have a higher balance in your account that day, you're going to get those extra few points of interest that day. And month over month, it's actually compounding. So the interest you earn from month one is going to add to your total sum in month two. And, that's going to get you even more interest in the next month. Now, obviously, you're using these funds for business. They're on reserve. So it's not exactly like an investment account or something like that, but it is a nice little, bonus to these pre-orders or to holding orders, to where you have a little bit of a sum of money in your bank account, especially as you get deeper down the road and, your bank account, your business savings account looks a little bigger. So.
It's an important point. And at the end of the year, I mean, these things certainly add up. Like, when you're doing, $1 million in sales a year, which is easily achievable by someone who's been doing this for, a year or 2 years. things like, credit card points and interest and stuff like that. It really does rack up, and it can go towards just building a team. It can go towards whatever you want, and that's really one of the biggest advantages of being a business owner is you have like all these perks that essentially you're getting paid first, and then whatever you do later, whether it's taxes or whatever needs to be done, that happens after you get paid. Whereas if you're an employee, you're getting a paycheck. It already has everything taken out. It has the health insurance. It has the taxes. It has all that. And so you're kind of getting everything skimmed off, and what you're left with, you can use it, but it's more advantageous for you to get paid first, and then you decide what happens to it.
Yeah, and kind of to tie everything together here, being a business owner and dealing with the coronavirus, if you've organized your business in the right way, it's actually advantageous to be a business owner in times of crisis or uncertainty like this, because again, you have way more control than, say, you're an employee of a business that gets hit hard with the coronavirus and you get laid off, or it gets hit hard as like the result of supply chains and stuff because of the coronavirus, and you get laid off as a result of that. Then you really only have one option, is to just go off and find another job in that field, which, I mean, depending on the field, it could be also hit by hit by these issues, and you could be running into problems. But by being a business owner, you can get involved in many, many different areas, especially if you take the investor mindset to owning businesses. Check out the episode we did on the cash flow quadrant. So if you take that investor mindset, you're doing this for the purpose of investing. You're not doing it for something silly like passion, where you're just, you're doing this for cash flow by any means, by any ethical means necessary. You're getting diversified cash flow by being a business owner, if you're doing it correct. So in times like this, it's actually less of a risk.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, and really the key word here, or phrase, is single point of failure. And things like these happen, those are the people that are impacted the most. Those who have a single point of failure, and that point is actually impacted. For us, even if something crazy happens and we need to shut all of our stores down, what would that even look like? We would just pause our ads, and then that's it. And then once everything recovered, we would just turn the ads back on. But meanwhile, we still have these affiliate sites. People are still going to be browsing the web, looking at ads, probably buying stuff off Amazon. Amazon is one of the biggest companies in the world. They're not shutting down.
Yeah.
And what people are doing also, when they are laid off of work and everything's closed and they have nothing to do, they're reading books. So we're also taking advantage of that as well. So when you have multiple streams of income, usually when one thing goes down, almost magically others go up.
Yeah. Reading books, because we're Kindle publishers, I think, is what you were trying to say there. And people are stuck alone in the house. They're bored, lonely. Why not crack open an ebook and entertain yourself? So, all right, guys, I think that about wraps up this episode. So yeah, a lot of cool points. I like the way this one turned out. So buildassetsonline.com/playbook for our free course. Buildassetsonline.com/asset if you want to join our flagship e-commerce course and start making your own diversified portfolio of online assets. So that's it.
Take it easy.